What's happening, everybody? It is I once again, Mr. Cinema Junkie, and I have been tagged. I was trying to think of a way to say that and not to say, I've been tagged. It was, tag, you're it. You know. Fail. Anyways, yes, I have been horror tagged by Miss Genna from Dark Realms. Has some questions right here, and I'm going to answer these to the best of my ability, which shouldn't be too hard. I mean, they're not crazy personal questions. I ain't got to get naked or anything. Anyways, it's a horror tag. I will be tagging 5 fellow YouTubers in the hopes that they will make a short video answering these questions. And then I hope they will pay it forward and tag 5 people each. We didn't start the fire. I'm not going to do it. No, I'm not going to say it. Okay, anyways, on with the show. First question. Last horror movie you saw and when? Okay, that's a pretty easy one. Last horror movie I saw was Pieces. It was, I don't know if you're familiar with that one. I'm pretty sure everybody out there is. It was an 80s chainsaw epic, and I saw that night before last, which would have made that what, Tuesday night? Yeah, Tuesday night. It's part of my Stack Attack video that I've been working on for like 2 months already. I should have had it done in a week and just keep getting sidetracked and lose my groove, and I'm not going to get into it right now. But yeah, last horror movie I saw and when was Pieces on Tuesday night, 2 days ago. What was your first horror movie? My first horror movie ever was It's Alive. I saw that when I was 3 years old with my mom and dad at a drive-in. I had just injured my arm in a terrible ringer accident. It's true, I did. So they took me to the movies, and my dad decided to go see It's Alive. My mom didn't really know what the movie was about. She was pregnant with my brother, so after seeing what was on the screen, it's about a mutant baby that's born because of all the pesticides and stuff in the air. It becomes mutated and kills everybody. After seeing what was on the screen, she insisted that we leave because she didn't want it to affect her unborn child. I think we got out too late. But I didn't really know what was going on in the movie, to be honest. I remember seeing a couple of scenes. The doctor came out with his face all scratched up, and he fell down. I'm like, why is his face scratched? Why is he bleeding? Didn't know what was going on in the movie, so it wasn't like I was into it, like, oh yeah, look at the baby's born, yeah, it's a mutant. I had no clue what I was watching. So, but that's officially the first horror movie I saw. Now, the first horror movie I saw that made me a fan of horror was when I was 6, and it was Night of the Living Dead, the original. The original. It was kind of stupid to say the original, right? Considering that the remake didn't come out till 1990. I was 6 in 1976, so yeah, it would have to have been the original. Yeah, I stayed up late past my bedtime, snuck out of bed after everybody was asleep, turned on the TV, and that's what popped up. It turned on right when right before the "Coming to Get You, Barbara" scene, iconic line of all times. They're coming to get you, Barbara. Just before that happened, and I just couldn't stop looking because they were in a cemetery. I knew they were in a graveyard, and that in itself was kind of like scary to me. And then I didn't know what zombies were. I just thought it was an old man attacking this lady and chasing her, and I was just hoping she got away. And I think I watched up until, ooh, I think it was when he went up the stairs and found the body at the top of the stairs. That's when I stopped watching and ran to my room. And the next day at school, I told my friends about it, and I had them all like locked. I had their attention. I was a guy who didn't get too much attention growing up. I was really ignored as a child. So, and thank you, San Antonio. Thank you. Here I was thinking it was going to be quiet. What's a video without outside fucking sirens going off every time? Ah! And we're back. So yeah, I had everybody's attention then, telling about what I saw in the movie. Then what happened? Then what happened? Then what happened? And after that, I knew I had to watch another scary movie so I could tell them the story. After that, it just became a thing of like, I don't care about any other movies. Horror! That's what I want to see. I'm a horror fan. That was a long answer for a very simple question, my first horror movie. So my first official horror movie was It's Alive, and the first horror movie I saw that I actually kind of dug what was going on and made me a horror fan, Night of the Living Dead 3 years later. What is your favorite horror movie? Anybody who knows me knows that I have a long-running passion for the movie Phantasm. And the reason, because as I get older, the movies I saw when I was younger, they take on a whole new meaning, kind of like, a little silly, but I still like it. But the reason Phantasm stands out for me and has always stood out for me is because it is the very first movie I saw. I saw it when I was 9, again, at a drive-in with my dad. Dad wasn't really that type that was like, no, you're too young to see stuff. He didn't give a shit, man. Good for me, But Phantasm was the first movie I ever saw that made me lose sleep out of fear. I was visiting my dad. My parents were divorced already since I was 5, so I went to go visit my dad in Columbus, Ohio. He asked me, the first day I was there, what do you want to do? Go see a movie? Okay, we'll go see a movie. I picked Phantasm because it was a movie my mother told me I was never going to see. If she had anything to do with it, she was never going to let me see that movie. She had seen it, and she told me it was too scary for me. I was too young to see it. Dad said, what movie do you want to see? This one? Sure, let's go. And while I'm taking a nap, drink whatever you want. I don't care. If you can get it open, drink it. So, yeah, I saw Phantasm, and it scared the piss out of me. And I'd go to bed, and I'd stay there with my eyes wide open, the light on, the radio playing, and I couldn't go to sleep until I saw the sun coming up. This is also the first time I ever broke night. I was always asleep by 11 o'clock, the latest, except that time I snuck out of bed to watch Night of the Living Dead. But when the sun was coming up, I felt more at ease. And it finally dawned on me, like years later, why it was so crazy to me. See, I grew up in Chicago, and the neighborhood I grew up in had some other white kids in it sparingly, but it was mostly Puerto Rican kids. It was a Hispanic community. And those families moved out. I was the last one there. My family is, like I've stated before, we're half Mexican, so my family being Hispanic, they fit in, but I was kind of the oddball in the neighborhood because I was very white. I had straight blonde hair, and, I stood out like a sore thumb. And when I would go see movies, I'd say that's a whole other world I'm looking at there on the screen. Has nothing to do with me. I'd go home, everything was fine, because I was back in reality. But in Phantasm, I watched it, and visiting my dad, there were things in reality that I could associate with Phantasm. Like the staircase. I've never lived in a house where you had to go upstairs to go to the bedrooms. A 2-floor house. I've never been in one before. I never lived in one. My dad had that. Carpeted stairs, just like in the movie. upstairs bedroom, just like in the movie. He had a shotgun, just like they had in the movie. All these things started associated. But you know what they had that Phantasm had that I was not accustomed to? White people. Yeah, the whole movie is full of white people. Where my dad lived, that whole neighborhood, white people. It's the white people that scared me. mm. But anyways, Phantasm is my favorite movie. Um, what is your favorite movie genre? My favorite movie genre? Horror. Is that not why we're here? I like all genres of movies. I'm a cinephile from way back. I love action, drama, comedy, film noir. I love the oldies. I love it all. You know, I'll find something good in all of them. Even the so-called chick flicks, I'll find one or two that I actually dig. But horror tops them all. Hence my channel and stuff. If I would have known that I was going to focus on horror so much, when I first started my channel, it was supposed to be about, I was just talking about movies in general. And sometimes I did talk about other movies, but the main focus was on horror. I should have named it something else. I really should have. You know, I really should have thought about this name a little bit more, but I'm stuck with it now. Everybody who sees me, and believe me, it's not a lot of people, but anyone who knows me through YouTube knows me as Mr. Cinema Junkie. That's the name that they know. If I changed it right now, they would never get Cinema Junkie out of their head. They'd still call me Cinema Junkie, so I might as well just stick with it. And I am. I got cards made up, for crying out loud. So, yeah, my favorite movie genre would have to be horror, above and beyond everything else. What genre scares you the most? That's kind of a hard question to answer because I don't get scared these days. Jump scares don't count. I could be watching a comedy and if something just happens unexpectedly, I might jump and stuff. That doesn't mean it scared me. It just caught me off guard. Unless you mean like subgenres for horror movie, like horror, and then you got different types of horror movies, then still nothing scares me. But my favorite horror genre, my favorite horror subgenre, ooh, that's a good question because I think nothing is more horrific than reality. And I know that sounds like a cop out, but stick with me here. I like movies like pandemic movies, things like that, because that can happen. Okay, the zombie apocalypse, there's maybe a 3% chance that could actually happen. Raise that if you don't mean like coming back from the dead kind of stuff. Uh, it could be people who just have like parasites in their head that cause them to be zombie-like or, you know, attack in hordes. That could happen. But it all boils down to pandemics, diseases. We get a new strain of the flu almost every other year, and it kills people. What about the one that drives them insane and turns them murderous? That could totally happen. Or not even people killing us, just the disease itself. How many areas in a day, don't even bother answering because you don't know, but how many areas in a day do you touch? Door handles, bathroom stall doors, the rod to flush the toilet. You know, we touch all these things all day, and then how many of us are guilty of not always washing our hands? And then touching something we ingest. I have to be honest with you out there. There are times I always wash my hands when I go to the bathroom. Don't even go there. But there's times I'll take the bus to go eat somewhere, and I'll go order my food. I'll sit down, start eating, and I'm like, My hands have touched the rod and everything in the bus. The handle, I've touched everything on that bus that everybody that's ridden that bus has touched. Why did I not wash my hands before I started eating? That's disgusting. And then I got to take it on faith and hide my food like a damn dog and go wash my hands with the antibacterial soap twice and pray that I didn't ingest anything. But I think I got a good immune system because I didn't grow up a sissy where, you know, everything had to be sterilized and shit. You know, we used to drop candy on the ground, eat candy off of each other's dirty necks, and we'd get sick, and then our immune systems were great. So I got a pretty good immune system, I have to say. Five or six flu seasons, and I haven't caught anything yet. Knock on wood. But yeah, the idea of a pandemic that wipes us out or causes us to like live in the Stone Ages where we're hiding in caves and walking around with gas masks and rifles to keep the sick away from us, that's pretty unnerving. That gets to me. Check out the movie Contagion. Not exactly a horror movie, but check out Contagion. That'll get you thinking. Your ultimate scream queen. Ooh. Ah, my ultimate scream queen. There's so many things to go by. I gotta give it up to Jamie Lee Curtis. You know, that was my scream queen from back in the day. She was, you know, she's it. She's like the queen of scream queens as far as I'm concerned. But a very close second are the lovely ladies of Return of the Living Dead. Beverly Randolph, she can scream. Joel Shepard, she's a screamer. Linnea Quigley, all awesome, incredible ladies. Let's see. A concept you would like to see. I'll tell you what I don't see enough of. Snuff and necrophilia. If they could combine the two, a snuff video followed by a necro porn that they make, some dirty, sleazy underground kind of thing, call me. Let me know when that's released. I want to see that. A simpler concept would be some bitch that can run without falling on her face every 3 steps. That would be cool. Favorite on-screen kill. Okay, there's too many to name. Too many. But my 2 favorites, right off the top of my head, my 2 favorites would be Laid to Rest, when he cuts the guy's face clean off of his head sticking through the window of a car, and he has a knife right here stuck through his jaw, and he goes, rip, and the whole front of his face just comes off. Okay? And the sleeping bag kill from, I believe it was Friday the 13th 7. He picks the bag up and because the story behind it is hilarious. They had done so many takes, they put weights in the bag to make it look, you know, like there's a body in there, and they took so many takes, and he was frustrated. Kane Hodder was frustrated, pissed off, and that final hit that they said, okay, cut and print, he was pissed when he did it, so it transferred into the scene very well. So those are my 2 favorite. Honorable mention would be Friday the 13th, Jason X, where the liquid nitrogen. We stuck our face in the liquid nitrogen. And the reason I like that one is because I thought of that. When I was in the 7th grade, I said, what if they stuck someone's head in liquid nitrogen and then punched them in the face and their face just shattered? You can't do that. And look, recognized. I'm ahead of my time, I'm telling you. If I splurt out something right now that sounds stupid to you, jot it down somewhere. You'll make $1 million later on down the road. Swear to God. True story, in my neighborhood, I told them, wouldn't it be cool if they took like black shirts and used the shiny black thread so you have like a black on black effect? And everyone said, that is stupid, black on black, you can't even see black on black. What's the matter with you? Now I see it everywhere. On hats especially. I'm telling you. All I ask is like 10%. Whatever you make on my idea, 10%. That's all I want. Favorite horror franchise? Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th. I think Halloween got a little redundant towards the end. Never really dug any of the sequels to Nightmare on Elm Street. Sorry. Um, Phantasm, love Phantasm. Part two I liked. Part three was good, and part four was stretching it just a tad. Um, so the sequels weren't like my favorite, but overall, I'd say the weakest one of Friday the 13th was like Jason Takes Manhattan, and then Jason Goes to Hell got like ridiculous, but in a good way, I think. And Jason X, I mean, that's just really well done bad cinema. I mean, it's a concept that's just way out there, and you're gonna have a team of people who hate Jason X for all the, I guess, right reasons, but for every one of them that hates it, I love it for those reasons. Uber Jason, Cyborg Jason. I mean, come on. Jason in Space. They couldn't have made that movie any better if they would have just named it Jason Goes to Space. Space Jason. Friday the 13th in space. Space. To me, it's schlocky, cheesy, fun. It's fun. That's what horror movies need to be, no matter how scary, no matter what, as long as I enjoyed myself, that's what matters. Make me lose sleep for hours on end. Hell, I don't sleep anyway. So just let me enjoy it. Don't take yourself so seriously. That's all I'm saying. And favorite horror director. Well, there's a number of factors there. Um, like, do I like what they put out, or do I like the person? Personally, do I really dig that person? Um, there's so many good movies out there, and some of them don't get the praise they deserve, I feel. I mean, they have cult followings, and cult followings are cool. Cult followings are awesome, because you know who your real fans are. You know that they're not just jumping on a bandwagon. They really love your movie. They live it. They breathe it. That's a cult following. But it's a small portion of the pie. It's give and take there. Um, Toby Hooper, Toby, however you pronounce his name. Friday the 13th. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Can it be denied? I mean, it's a great movie. Excellent movie. I like him. Um, Don Coscarelli, Phantasm. I like him. Let's see. So many. So many. John Carpenter, Wes Craven. I mean, those are like easier answers. Those are like kind of mainstream directors. So let's focus on the ones that don't get as much praise as I feel they should. And some of these I might come off a little biased because I've actually gotten to know some of these directors through Facebook and through meeting them in person at cons and stuff, and they come off very personable, very cool. So as people, they're awesome. As directors, they're incredible. So you put those two together, and it's just like it's just an excellent combination of traits. So I will say, in no particular order, Ryan Nicholson, Gutter Balls. I mean, come on, Live Feed, Collar. You know what I'm saying? The Underground. That's where it's at. Good stuff. And a great guy. Billy Pon. I hope I pronounced your name right, Billy. I'm very sorry if I didn't. Billy, P-O-N. Pon or Pon? Bloody Bill. Let's just say that. Circus of the Dead. Okay. the guy has such a visionary. Okay, Marcus Cook. I hope I pronounced that right. That's what I heard it was pronounced. I was pronouncing it wrong the whole time. Koch, 100 Tears. You know, that excellent, more excellent clown horror. Okay, I mean, even with that, I could just keep going with underground horror and such. Vogel, you know, toe tag movies. Those are great. There's too many to name. Marcus Cook also directed the American Guinea Pig Bloodshock, which was an excellent flick. Can you hear those sirens coming a mile away sometimes? Stephen Biro. See, again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing the last name right. Biro or Biro? B-I-R-O. American Guinea Pig. What was it? I forgot the rest of the name. Bouquet of Guts and Gore. I was going to say Blood of Guts and Gore. That doesn't sound right. Bouquet of Guts and Gore. Yeah, there's those directors are just personable and very cool, and they take their craft very seriously, and they put forth their visions in the best way they possibly can, and for that I thank them. The one I talk to the most of all would be Ryan, and he's just an awesome cat all the way around. Billy, awesome as well. He's Marcus. I've talked to a couple of times here and there, and he's just a laid back dude. He's really cool. So those would be some of my favorites right there. I cannot pick one. There's no way. That's like picking my favorite food or something like that. Pick your all-time favorite pie. Pie? I love pie. Can't pick one. So yeah, this video went a little longer than it should have. I hope I answered those questions okay. I'm sorry I rambled so much. Sometimes I try to make it fun, and I do the exact opposite, make it unfun by talking too damn much. But thanks for tagging me, Genna. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the video. And guys, I'll be tagging you either here or on Facebook. Please play along, and I'll put the questions on both tags so you know exactly. You can write them down like I did. So I may rewrite. I may rewrite one of the questions about your favorite or which genre scares you the most. Like, I'll say which horror genre, which horror subgenre. I'll put that. So until next time, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. And get your own tag video going. Start one. And while you're at it, while you're on here, check out the link below and go check out Dark Realms. Sub, friend, you know the score. You know what's up. Until next time, people, this is Mr. Cinema Junkie signing out. Au revoir, suckers. You're not suckers.